And actually, Robert, thank you for coming off of mute here, because rev share, how I explain it, and this is not a bad thing, how I explain it is super basic level. I want you guys to know that when an agent comes to me and asks me about EXP and rev share and the ins and outs, numbers, things of that nature, I actually have the wonderful privilege of deferring to someone more experienced with that type of conversation, such as Tom Martin, George Philbeck, Robert as well. My gist of it is that it is one of the wonderful streams of income that EXP affords me for doing what I already like to do, which is helping agents, which is sharing my success and my strategies. If that just so happens to attract agents, fantastic. But I never sell people on EXP. In a nutshell, that's how I see rev share. Robert, can you give a more formal explanation of rev share?
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
in the EXP model, revenue share means that if you sponsor an agent and you help them to be successful, because it's about them and not about you, when they sell properties and they bring in a commission, a portion of the commission, which is based on the commission structure that you can find on most EXP websites, a portion goes to the sponsors, and that line of sponsors goes 7 deep. So for me, my sponsorship goes up actually past Brett Gove because of where I'm in alignment with my sponsor line. Now, I'm gonna just say this straight out. Are we gonna be raw and honest? Are we recording here? Where are we going with this, Tiffany? Because you tell me, you might want to not record some of this if we're gonna have a real discussion.
We'll have the real discussion during after party. How about that? We'll keep it PG for now.
It's not just about being PG. I mean, I'm gonna be upright honest here, and I'm okay. You do what you want with this recording. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, goodness. Okay, well, let's get into just that. That's the explanation so far. And Jeffrey is one of the people that I asked to be on this call specifically because he has had amazing success. And I'm going to respectfully say he's not a pro. There are several people in our group and within EXP's organization that can have these conversations about EXP. So we want to talk to Jeffrey and hear what he's doing to attract agents, who they are, the conversations he's having with them. So with that being said, because Jeffrey, you are fairly new, and I don't mean that in any form of disrespect at all, but it's not like he's spent 20 years in real estate, guys. He doesn't have hundreds of transactions of history where he can just go back and say, hey, remember me? I'm that awesome guy that we just closed this deal. You want to come talk to me about EXP? I guarantee you he hasn't had that single conversation like that yet. Okay. So that's why I wanted to have Jeffrey come on, because there's quite a few of you that feel like you have to have a crap ton of experience in order to talk to agents. So thank you, Jeffrey, for taking some time out of your day. The floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, so the good news for me, at least, I do have 6 years of real estate experience. It's just not with EXP, right? And so I have it with Keller Williams, where I didn't do I was working part-time as IT, and I'm still actually trying to I'm an IT guy that's transitioning into real estate. Okay? So it is true. I'm very green. I'm still pretty green. Actually, I also did 10 years of investment. So I would buy houses and fix them and flip them. So I've got other type of experiences that I'm using. But what I did with the rev share is, and I was looking for the video that I found. What I did was I found a video, and I put some videos in the link here. of some experienced. The first link I have there is an experienced guy, really nice video. I think it's very professionally. They're all a little bit old. And what I did is I watched the videos and I took notes, okay? And then I basically made talking points. Also, it's not a bad idea to use I use Jasper, but Chat GPT. Take notes, feed those in, get some talking points. That's really all that's pretty, and because you got about 3 minutes to really, if you can have a conversation with the person, you've got about 3 minutes to make an impression, right? And so, I got it down where I didn't even, and I have to have my notes after a while. When you start talking to people, you just, and what really comes across is I am a true believer of EXP, okay? Of all of the amazing corporation that it is and the amazing opportunities that it does bring. So even though I haven't experienced, I'm relative. So I came in March. Okay, it's my story. Came in March, and I had actually like 3 different contracts, and they all actually fell through. Okay. And so it's various stories, but anyway, so I haven't actually closed anything yet. And then what happened was, then I started getting into the recruiting, and I really kind of went that way for 2 or 3 months. I was just like totally focused on it. And now, so that's where I'm at. And I was able to recruit like about 5 people. I had several what I would call in the pipeline, but there's a lot of competition out there, and people get pulled away. And let's see. So
Jeffrey, I have a couple questions for you.
Uh,
So one, who are you talking to? Obviously agents, but who are these agents to you? So are you cold calling? Are these people that you've met at events or at open houses? All
okay.
of the above?
So that's a great question. And I am talking to people. So first of all, I would say always keep in mind that you have this great company and all this information to share with someone who has skills. So I would say always keep your antennas up when you're dealing with people. Like I went to the furniture store and came across this guy who had a great personality, who was bilingual and just full of energy, great sales guy. And I'm just like, have you thought about real estate? And he's like, no, but I'm kind of would like to know more about it. It just, there it is, and this guy would make a great sell. So I would say, keep your antennas up for talent. And then I would say, not everyone's really cut out for EXP. You really need like the independent kind of a person who's a self-motivated kind of person. Because you get other people who they just need a lot more attention. Anyway, they need more structure and I really love the model of EXP, and like it's wide open. You can create the business that you want, but you give so much freedom to some people and they freak out. They're like, well, I need someone to hold my hand and tell me what to do, So,
Yeah.
more of that. But anyway, and then I came across another person I was helping. She was in a moving company, and found out that she was working on taking her test to become a realtor. So I was able to share with her. Then my son has a roommate. He's 23. My son's 23. And my son keeps telling me that he's going to do it. And so we're not, any day my son may start, but his roommate went ahead and started yesterday.
With his
When I say
course?
started, so what I have, I'll put it in the chat. I went through CE Shop. It was what I use for pre-qualification. I thought it was such a great system because it's reasonably priced. It's all online. I did the 149 deal, and they basically, they train you, but then they test you, and then they analyze your results and determine your weaknesses, and then drill you on the weaknesses, and then you have unlimited practice tests. And so, I'm able to kind of help people with the pre as well. So you're a resource. Also, you know, when you're out eating, like I'm all the time telling people, my servers, you know, have you thought about real estate? I'm always talking about it. Now, where else do I get it? Uh, um, uh, I actually get a lot of information and leads from our group. Okay. And unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly where all that comes from. I hate to say that. I hate to say that. Sorry
No,
about that.
that's okay. I
If
respect
I've
that.
been told, ask DJ. That was my
Okay.
answer. So
Okay, I
I
like
get
that.
ask DJ.
You at least gave us another path to travel down,
Yeah.
AKA
And
everyone
that's
text DJ right now. Um,
so, and that's what we do. I mean, I'm part of a group, we call it the Success Group, and we train people, and we're bringing, our whole concept is we bring in they're new people, right? But here's a strategy. I mean, you have access to all the people that you need, because all you need to do is talk to agents, right? One of the links
Yep.
I shared there was a fellow, 17 months. He was brand new in real estate, 17 to EXP. He worked for 17 months. He brought on 500 people, and he retired a multimillionaire, okay, through the rev share. And he and his wife, you know, they're set for life. So, and he didn't really know real estate when he started, but he could persuade people. He's a good sales guy, and you're basically selling EXP. That's what you're doing. And, you know, and so I can tell you more about the rev share, but I can also tell you more about what I do when I talk to people. If you want, I can go either way you want to do on that. I can tell you more, because I do a compare and contrast between EXP and some of the other brokerages when I talk to people.
That's awesome. Yes. And I know people like Tom Martin, Robert,
Yeah.
Kazazian, and George, they all they can, for you guys, do a broker cost analysis breakdown. There's a spreadsheet on our GPS website that allows even yourself to do it. If you're unsure of how to do it, I believe George had a recording on Workplace on it as well, so you guys can see. So if someone wants to sit down with you and they're like, well, these are my dues and everything, this is how much I pay to my broker, you can do a side-by-side analysis. Okay, this is how much you spent or how much you made last year with that broker. Had you been with EXP, this is how much you could have made. There is such a form that exists. It's on the GPS website. It's called the broker cost analysis. Okay. So it's interesting hearing Jeffrey's take on that, because I have a very opposite take on my attraction. I am actually not selling EXP at all. And the agents, I'll back up. The agents that I'm speaking to are agents that I have interactions with. Networking is a huge part of my business, not only for buyers and sellers, but also for agents. And I believe it was Jessica Baskis who mentioned that, I think it was this week, that she frequents the same networking events or groups. And I do the same thing. So, for example, there is a networking event that happens now. It's quarterly, it was monthly. And even when it was monthly, I was going at a fancy pants hotel out here called the Cavalier. I have been to at least a dozen of their events in the past year and a half. So much so that there are groups of agents, when they come, they get really excited. It's if I threw the event. I did not. But I make it a habit to make sure that I am always there at the same place, the same time they are. And I ask them, how's their business? How's the market? How have things been for you? I just ask about them. And some of you have heard this tactic as well. I truly am just asking about them, what's been happening. Have they been to any new trainings? When was the last time they went on a vacation? Any crazy deals recently? The things that they will tell and divulge. And I just take mental notes, or if you have them actually saved in your phone, when you're done with that conversation, go ahead and put quick notes in there so that the next time you see them, you can remember what you talked about. Be like, hey, how did that HUD deal go? And see what their response is. I am going to defer to Robert here in a moment, because his tactic is not like mine. So I love that we have all of these different strategies and perspectives on it. I know Robert, his is more organized. Mine is just fly by the seat of my pants. I know what I'm doing because I'm consistent in the events that I go to, the people that I talk to, how I follow up with them. I make sure to friend them on Facebook. I will occasionally share their posts, stop by their open houses. I remember someone, Tony DeFalco, used to say, the best way to attract someone is to be their broker before you're their broker. And I say that for the agents who have the bandwidth. If you can support them and pour into them, then that is an excellent strategy for you. Even telling them happy birthday on Facebook could be one thing more that their broker doesn't do. You want to befriend them. You want to show that you care. And then they will start to talk about business more and more with you. That's when I will defer to or turn over to George and Tom. Jeffrey is able to just dive in and be able to sell EXP. I don't. I'm a high D. I say, you know what? That's an excellent question. I've only been with EXP for X amount of time, and I love everything about it. But if you want to know the particulars, I can get you on the phone call with my coach, Tom Martin. Now, I don't just send anyone to talk to Tom or to Robert or to George or to Claire or to Liz. I don't. I make sure that person is really serious, because I have had people that are like, oh yeah, sure, I'm really interested. And as soon as I get ready to toss them up to the next person, they ghost us. So because I am a high D, and because most of the people that I talk to, I have built some form of rapport with, if I offer that and they say yes, I reaffirm. I say, okay, now if I really get Tom on a call, you're not going to ghost us. You're not going to all of a sudden have a showing. Like, you're going to make this a point, because this guy is super busy and I don't want to waste his time, and don't have me looking like a jackass, because that's my personality. If you guys don't feel comfortable with that, that's okay. George has another form of reaffirming and doubling down to make sure that they're really, truly committed to that follow-up or to that next phase. Before we go any further, Robert, are you able to come off mute? Because he has a really nice organized way of going
I'm
about
here.
attraction. Your turn.
Okay. So here's the truth about me. I went really hard and heavy trying to do attraction when I first got here to EXP. And I realized, like everybody else out there, EXP was getting a very bad reputation, because people were trying to just grab agents because they thought that this was money in the pocket. I paused and came to the realization that it wasn't about how many agents I could bring to EXP. The model says that I'm only going to be successful if they're successful. So I completely changed gears. To be truthful, I do not sell real estate. I am jokingly the highest skilled, non-paid transactional coordinator you'll ever find for my wife's business. I take care of all the paperwork. I take care of all of those other things because I'm not the meet and greet. My background is in technology. I have many years in real estate, but I went a different direction. I decided that I needed to be a support organization for agents. So I support agents as deep as they're going to go. I don't know how deep that will be. And I created 3 different programs to help them through their transition from a new agent or even a seasoned agent into EXP, and continue to push them for their success and the success of their business as we move forward. Now, I know Jessica Baskey's here, and she can answer this same question. It's not about who we are and who we can attract. It's really about our value proposition. If you look at EXP, we make money off of successful agents. So why wouldn't we put everything into making them successful? before we start having a retention issue. I can't save an agent after they've already gotten into trouble. I need to start off strong to make sure that they understand that all the support that they need is here to start. And that's with me, that's with their sponsors, that's with the EXP group, that's with EXP technology, that's with those people that are around us. There are people here that are nowhere near my line here in EXP that are very near and dear to me. I jokingly say they knocked down my door, sat at my table, and started having coffee and asked me when I was going to show up. It is really about how you continue to, in my opinion alone, how you continue to support the agents while you're also building and supporting your own business. That's my take on it. Now, I interview a lot of agents. EXP is not for everybody. I let them know that right up. We're not a brick and mortar company. If you need a brick and mortar company, I can refer you to 3 or 4 companies that you can be very successful at. And they're only going to take you so far. The history of a real estate is they stay with their first one for about 2 years, sometimes 3. They're starting to look for the next greatest thing. We may not be the first thing that they need. They maybe need to go somewhere else and get some different training and then come ready. Because if you're coming as a brand new agent, this is a very difficult field. You better have surrounded yourself with the proper support systems. Tiffany, is that enough? Or, I mean, where do you want to go with this? I'm honest here.
Can we talk a little bit about when you are reaching out to attract agents, do you care to divulge how you go about doing so, where you find them, or what groups of people you're talking to?
The history of agents for which I support tend to be newer agents, like brand new agents, or agents that were not feeling the need and support they were with their brokerage and were potentially on the brink of leaving the business. So you guys are all aware, I almost quit the business a while back. Tom Martin was actually my team leader, and Tom gave me more than some tough love, but I needed that kick. So that's where I realized that people have to be ready to move. You can't just say, hey, let's go throw up EXP all over someone. You've got to come with a reason why. They actually have to know that they're ready to move. Like I said, I have a lot of conversations, and there's a lot of agents that I've told them straight out, EXP is not for you. This is not the broker for you. If you need someone to hold your hand in the office and be with all the people, and it's about going to the office and having lunch and doing all those things, it's not for you. If you're going to wake up in the morning and know that this is your business, you're an entrepreneur, you're ready to get to business, you meet here in the morning, this is our morning meeting, this is what happens, and off we go, and we help and support each other collaboratively, then we're probably for you. But I can't hold your hand. So I'm very clear about what we're doing here and how we're doing it.
Any systems that you like to use, particularly for agent attraction?
I run several Facebook groups.
Very nice. Very nice. That's not the answer I thought you would say, but very cool. Okay, guys, because we can continue, but we'll take a pause real quick. Does anyone have any questions for either myself, for Robert, for Jeffrey, or like for anyone for the group in regards to agent attraction and rev share?
I'm going to say something about rev share.
Okay.
My initial goal for rev share was to pay for my car payment. That was my original goal. $329. Okay. After I got through that one, my next goal was to pay what I'm paying for my son for his room and board at college. That was roughly $500 a month. He's a college kid, so he sucked all of the money he could get out of me, and I gave him. So and then I stopped setting goals after that point. It just kind of started happening on its own. But again, I stopped looking at the dollar signs and understand that they only exist if I can continue to make agents and help to keep them successful. So again, once you're tied to me, you're kind of tied to me for life, whether you want it or not.
Oh, yes, definitely, whether you want it or not, because he's in my email inbox talking to me about Power Up, and I just want to tell him to shove it because I'm trying to go on vacation. So whether you want it or not is true. Let's see what other things, guys, with our group, I just want to point out, because I don't know when, but we may lose our unique value proposition of having the GPS checklist to
Oh,
help agents. Please keep in mind that for new agents, if you want to attract or talk to new agents, they care about the training and the split. And they care less about the split if the training is awesome. And our training is beyond awesome. And our split is great too. But regardless of that, that checklist is years and several different people and their experience worth of effort and work put into that checklist. It is designed to take a brand new agent and get them up and running and in production. In production, guys, that means pipeline going, conversations being had, getting them in production from day one in 4 weeks. It's truly unheard of at any other organization. I know this because we've spoken to every kind of new agent from every other organization, you name it. We've spoken to those agents. Our checklist alone, not including these calls, is amazing. But guess what? George Blabbermouth Philbeck, no, I'm just kidding. He went around telling corporate EXP about our checklist, and they have asked for it so that they can find ways to implement that into EXP's training in general. So I want you guys to be aware that we are the only EXP group that has that checklist right now. And that's not always going to be the case, which is amazing because we do come from contribution. So I am glad that there are more agents out there, especially some EXP agents. They need that training that we have had access to. But with that being said, like, we are going to lose that unique value proposition because we will be sharing that with other EXP groups and teams and agents.
Do we get to vote on that? I have some time and energy in
Did you
that
not
check
hear?
sheet.
Did you not hear his new nickname? No, we don't get a vote on that. George Blabbermouth Philbeck already made it happen.
If they use it to replace the mentoring program, I'm all in.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I would definitely vote thumbs up for that, but that's another conversation. Guys, do you have anything as far as questions? Again, rev share, agent attraction, conversations, systems used, scripts used, networking ideas. Is anyone hitting any challenges or, any opportunities? That was for you, Des and Liz. That was for you guys. Yes. Has anyone?
I have a question.
Yeah, Heather, go for it.
So my question is, I hear a lot of people saying, you know, on the opposite end of your deal with your co-broke, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, kind of approach them about it. I'm wondering, how do you start that conversation? How do you move it from, it was great working on this transaction with you, to, hey, have you ever checked out the EXP model?
So I usually ask them, one, that's a great tactic. I love doing that. My thing is I will take them out for, say, let's go out for drinks and tacos. And if they say things like that, or if I've sussed out already that they're not that type, then I'll say, can we go out for coffee? But once I have that opportunity, of course, boosting them up, telling them how great it was. Thank you so much for the effort that you put in. Couldn't have done it without you. And they'll ask them, like, how long have you been with the brokerage you're at now? I'll play I played dumb. I played dumb. And I'm just like, how long have you been there? Is that where you got all this amazing training? Is that how you knew how to handle things so well? If they say yes, the training has been awesome. My support system has been great. I've been with my broker for 17, 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter what they say. Fantastic. I let them go on until they're done. And if there's anything that seems a little short, I'll ask them, can you tell me more about that? Or, oh, was that really important to you when you got into real estate? And if they are asking, if they try to flip it back and say, well, why are you asking? I say, I'm just curious as to like how you came to be so successful. And I wanted to know, have you ever looked at the EXP model? Tom likes to tell people, and I do too, that I'm always open-minded, which I am. I'm very happy where I'm at, but I'm always open-minded. So I flip it on them and ask them more about their brokerage, their support, their training, what they like, because the more about it, the more excited they are, then I kind of know that they're kind of set where they are. But if they have less to talk about it, or no, I've actually learned that 2 brokers ago, then I know they've been unhappy. They haven't found quite what they need. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Heather, I'm actually don't, I don't talk to agents at the end of the deal. I actually start understanding the agents during the deal. And the reason why is because every one of these is always, we always think this is cut and dry. We write a contract, we go into contract, we're done, right? We always get into, okay, I need an addendum. Okay, I need to do this. I probably write more contracts for other agents to make sure that everything is in order and written correctly, and then send it to them. So I start off by showing them my strength during the transaction and work hand in hand with them to let them know it's not about us, it's about getting 2 parties together for a successful sale. And again, that's where my support starts, showing them my strength as we move through tricky parts of any of the contracts. That's the start of the discussion. If we've already closed the deal, in my opinion, trying to open up and having that discussion is throwing EXP up all over them. That's just my personal opinion here. But I mean, this is why we have a panel. Jeffrey?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I was just asking if you're talking to the agent on the other side of a deal you're working on, how you start the conversation.
Usually, believe it or not, usually I don't intentionally start the conversation. I'll just, I might ask a question like, hey, if we're doing a condo specifically, hey, with all the changes and the rules in the condominium, do you want us put together 10 or 15 minutes? Let's go over some of these things and make sure we've got it all correct in the contract. Hey, I'm looking at the contract. I'm going to write it up. Do you want to review? I mean, you're going to see it in 15 minutes anyway. Do you want to review it with me to make sure that there's nothing that I missed, or are you aware of anything that, is going to come back in this? Let's work together and get this done. So trying to work with them hand in hand throughout the process can be very beneficial.
I think I would ask them just a few questions if they were interested in if they knew. I said, do you realize EXP is a corporation and not a franchise, and that all other, like the company you're working for is a franchise? Did you realize that? And if they say no, it's like, do you know the difference? Do you know what some of the big differences are? Because they affect how much you get paid. And I would just kind of ask them a few little leading questions like that, just to see if they were at all interested in learning about EXP. And then say, do you realize EXP is the largest real estate corporation in the world? And I think that's a powerful statement. So I would just, I'm real direct. Tiffany wants to take them out and wine them and dine them. I think y'all
That's,
just has-
that's if I like them, because I am
Uh,
like Robert. So during the transaction, I've already sussed out if I like them, if they know what they're talking about, if they're professional, if they know how to answer the GD phone.
well, that's actually a great point too,
That's
because
what I
not
mean.
everybody is geared. That's true. So when we keep saying that, and that's true, not everyone is geared, is an EXP realtor. Because they need to be independent, they need to be, you know, an entrepreneur. And I really like the idea of saying that it's about you creating your own business versus you working for somebody else. That's another real big track. But look like
Liz, you started your own business.
Yeah,
You want
Liz.
a voice in here? What do you got to say? for us
Liz
today?
wanted to say something. Go ahead, Liz.
Look at her, heck no.
Yeah, I hit it by mistake, but I mean, okay, I'll go. I only I'll take people out at the end of a transaction, like I said, like Tiffany said, if I like them. Like, I'm working with an agent right now. Like, there's no way in hell, no way. Like, she has just been an absolute nightmare to work with. I've written up every single addendum and everything. Anytime we have to have a tough conversation, she puts her husband on the phone because it's a husband and wife team at another brokerage. So for me to even attempt to try to bring him over, not going to happen. Now, this one gentleman that we're working with now, he knows what he's doing. He's at a smaller brokerage. We've just been having a conversation with him for about a week now that I'll ask him after the transaction's over, or like right towards the middle. Hey, it's been phenomenal working with you. Why don't we go out to lunch to celebrate our closing together, and then, you know, have the conversation like that. Like, also tell me more about about your business. Like, what I like to do when I'm bringing agents on is, what can I do to help you in your business when we go out to lunch? I like to do that because it's not about EXP. Obviously, RevShare is a result from it, but I really and truthfully do care about the businesses of the people that I'm bringing in versus just trying to bring them in to be a number in RevShare. I want to see people's businesses grow. So that's what I lead with. And when I invite them to the calls and they see me as a leader, not only within my team, but within an organization of 1,000 agents, they're like, oh, I should work, I want to come over to EXP. So I when it comes to recruiting, because I bring people to these calls and they'll see like, okay, she actually knows what she's talking about. She has a successful business. She has a team and she started out very similar to us. If she can do it, I can do it. So I just use it like that.
So what you heard from Liz is a similar model to me. It is about understanding that the success of the agent leads to our success. It doesn't start with our success. And again, it's about supporting another business. We are all the CEO, CFO, marketing department, HR, and everything else for our own business. And if the agents aren't willing to work for the success of their business, then we've got to take a hard look at the time and effort that we're taking away from other agents, other businesses, and our own business to support them. So again, as Jeffrey says, EXP is not for every agent. We can't hold your hand all day, every day. We can show you the way, we can give you the support. I do a lot of things to make sure agents have what they need, but I can't do their job. I mean, Shannon Highlands here. Shannon reached out to me yesterday, asked me to do something. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it right here. I gave her some tough love. I literally said to her in a nice way, it's your business. You've got to go do these things for yourself. I'm sorry, you've got all the tools. You just need to go do it. So again, there is a line to how far we can support them and not make them reliant upon us. As we're all trying to run our business. I know Liz's business model very well. I also support several of her agents because we have a relationship here a cooperative relationship inside the Florida market, and it works for all of us. So again, going out to attract agents, the first thing you have to remember is if you don't support them, if you can't give them what they need, they're gonna leave and they're gonna talk.
And honestly, just piggybacking off of what Robert just said is letting them know and setting the right expectations when you're having rev share conversations. And I don't know if this was brought up in the beginning of the call, so I'm just going to bring it up anyway, is exactly that. This is not for everyone. And when I'm having conversations with people right now, most people's business is down this year. Like, show of hands, how many people is their business down from last year to this year? Okay, how many agents' business is up this year? Des, you're up. So if you're having conversations with agents on the other side and you ask them that question, so let me ask you something. How long have you been in the business? Oh, I've been in the business for 3 years. Okay, great. So tell me about your business of what you've been doing over the past 3 years. Oh, my first year I did 5 transactions. My second year I did 20 transactions. This year I've only did 3. Oh, dang. So tell me about that. Why is your business down this year? Oh, well, the interest rates are hard, this, second, third. Well, have you figured out how to adjust to the market? Because very similar, like, I'm not trying to make it about me, but I'm not making the conversation about me, but my business is up right now. So I want to help you shift your business and shift your mindset so that we can grow your business together. Is that something that you're interested in? I'm not bringing on the rev share part of it. I'm just trying to support their business because guess what? Everybody has bills to pay. I don't want to see you lose your house and struggle because interest rates are high. Guess what? There's people still buying and selling, guys. One of our agencies just become the queen of new construction, selling 1 new construction a month, getting 5% and 6% commissions just on the buy side. There's ways to make it happen. You just got to find the right people. You got to find the people who are willing to do the work. So when you're having the conversations with these agents that you're trying to bring in, make sure you're investing into their business first. The rev share is going to come after, hands down, hands down.
Any questions, guys? Because I can just we can wrap this up here and we can take this off the live and recording. Any final questions? And every time I say that, nobody ever does. So I'm just going to stop the live and the recording.